Hello, everyone. Welcome to tonight's College Career Corner. We're so happy to have you on this, the last event we have for the year. We have an amazing presentation for you tonight with QuestBridge. And if you don't know about them, this is definitely something you want to listen to because QuestBridge provides scholarship opportunities to top-tier colleges for many students in Broward County. And you want to hear about this. And tonight, I'd like to introduce our presenter, Ms. Catherine Hardy, and she will have a presentation for you and give us a moment to just cue everything up so that you would get the full benefit of tonight. I want to thank Catherine for joining us because she has so many things to do, but she made time to be with us tonight. And we're going to have an amazing presentation tonight. So, Catherine, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Catherine Hardy. I'm an admission dean at Amherst College. Amherst is one of QuestBridge's 50 partner schools that they work with to get really bright students into some of the best schools in the country. I'm also a Florida native. I went to high school in Sarasota County, so I'm really excited to be talking to y'all tonight. I'm going to go through my presentation. If you have questions throughout, please feel free to put them in the Q&A, and I will be happy to address any questions that you might have. So my goal tonight is just to kind of unearth what QuestBridge really is and what the process looks like and benefits and detriments to the program too. So I do not actually work for QuestBridge. I work for Amherst. So that gives me some benefit of being able to talk holistically about the process. So first of all, what is QuestBridge? It is both a nonprofit organization that seeks to open up doors and opportunities for students who might be coming from lower income backgrounds, limited income backgrounds, or who might be the first in their family to attend a four-year college or university. But QuestBridge is also a distinct application. So a lot of students have heard of the Common App before. That's how a lot of students apply to college. QuestBridge has its own application, and it can be sent to any of the 50 partner schools through QuestBridge, and it allows students to apply early to a lot of elite schools. So I have here the QuestBridge partner schools. Like I said, there's currently 50 of them. This is also on the QuestBridge website. So if you want to dive into any of these schools, it's a really great starting place if you have a high achieving student to learn about schools that maybe they would otherwise not know about that offer such great opportunities. All QuestBridge partner schools are going to offer opportunities for things like research. If you have a student who's interested in things like going into medicine, going into research, going to law school, business school, you can't go wrong with this list of 50 schools. Each of these schools has a lot of resources to give, and it has a lot of opportunity to set students up for great success. So you'll notice on the list there are Ivy Leagues, there are great research institutions that are a bit larger, and there's also small liberal arts colleges. And so that can be a really fun way for students to think about what's a best fit school for me, is starting by looking at the QuestBridge page and seeing what feels like a nice fit. I just put a note on the bottom there too, that all partner schools, with the exception of the three I have listed there, Boston University, USC, and the University of Virginia, accept QuestBridge applications from students who may be undocumented or DACA applicants or have other fragile citizenship status. So why apply through QuestBridge? What is this process of applying? All these dates that I'm going to be providing today are actually dates from this academic year. You can see the last date on there is December 10th. We've kind of just closed out what's called the national match. So what this is in the late summer, a senior can start their application if they think they may want to apply through QuestBridge. A difference between QuestBridge and the Common App is that they submit their application to QuestBridge, and it happens pretty early in the year. So if your student is thinking about applying through QuestBridge, they're going to want to start thinking about their essays and about their application probably over the summer before their senior year. The really cool thing about QuestBridge is students by October 12th, you can see this, it says they can rank up to 15 college partners. What this means is once they put their application together, they can create a list of up to 15 schools. It can be as small as 1 school to 15 schools. And QuestBridge allows that student to apply early to that school. There's a catch. By applying early to those schools, the student is saying, if I am admitted to any of these schools I rank, whether I rank 1 or 15 schools, if I'm admitted to one and I match with them, I promise I'm going to go there. I promise that I'm going to remove my other applications and attend. So it is a binding process. So it's something the student is really going to want to think about. Am I truly going to be happy with every single school that I list? And they should only list schools that they would really, really be excited about attending. The big benefit of doing this, the big benefit of applying through the college match, of applying through QuestBridge, is students who are matched to a school are guaranteed 4 years of their full cost of attendance to be covered. They're going to receive scholarship not just for tuition, but also for all of the incidentals, for room and board, for food, for most schools it includes a little bit of a travel grant to get to and from campus. So matching has a lot of benefits to it. I will note, however, that students should not do the match solely because of that. A lot of those 50 schools that are listed have excellent financial aid packages, particularly in need-based aid, and students can still receive a really, really nice financial aid package to these schools, even if they're not applying through the match. We don't want students to feel pressured to be forced to apply through the match. If a student sends in their rankings, if they decide I do want to participate in the match, QuestBridge notifies them by mid-October. Congratulations, you're a finalist for QuestBridge, and those list of schools that you sent, we're going to send your application to them. This past year, about 15,000 students applied through QuestBridge, and about 6,000 of them were named finalists. That means that there are a large number of what QuestBridge calls non-finalists, of students who finished their application and weren't able to participate in the match. That's okay. Even if you're a non-finalist, you can still use your QuestBridge application to apply to these 50 schools. So we get applications all the time from students in our regular decision pool who send in their QuestBridge application, and we, on our side of things, actually don't know who was a finalist and who was not when we're reading through our applications. So it's not a waste of time, even if a student doesn't get accepted as a finalist. If a student is a finalist, they submit all their requirements to each of the schools they rank. Some schools might ask for an additional essay. Other schools may say you have to get your financial aid documents in by a certain time. So you get those in by November 1st. And by December 1st, we call it match day. QuestBridge releases where students match to. So if you match, again, you go to that school, congratulations, you know super early that you're going and you know that you're going on a full ride scholarship. If you don't match, that's okay. Again, you can use your QuestBridge application to apply to any of those 50 schools in regular decision. So some quick questions that people sometimes ask are things like, do ranked schools know? Like if I rank 15 schools and let's say Amherst is number 15 on your list, no, when Amherst is reading your application, we do not know where you ranked us. We are just looking at your application and we are making a decision of, do we think you're a great fit for us or not? And I just wanted to highlight again, if you do decide to participate in the match, those decisions are binding. So that is something that you really want to be thinking about, talking about as a family, of what we really feel comfortable with and where you would be happy going, where you know is a good fit for you. So there are some benefits and drawbacks to participating in the match. I'm going to start with the benefits. One, it's an opportunity to apply early to multiple highly selective schools. Usually with early decision processes, you are only allowed to apply early decision to one school. QuestBridge breaks that and lets you apply early to multiple schools, which for a lot of students might mean there's a better chance of getting into one of those. Another benefit is obviously the match scholarship. Guaranteed 4 years cost of attendance is hard to argue with. That's a wonderful thing. Another benefit is it's just prestigious to be named as a QuestBridge finalist. Even if you don't end up applying through the match, if you can put on your resume and if you can send in a QuestBridge application in regular decision, that looks good to a lot of schools because it signals I am a high achieving student. QuestBridge would not accept a finalist who's not a high achieving student. And then the final thing is, once you get onto a campus, whether you applied through the match or through regular decision, if you apply with your QuestBridge application, you're automatically going to be part of a QuestBridge chapter on your school. And that is just a strong community of students to be a part of, and it's an immediate community that you get when you set foot on a campus. At Amherst, for example, about 10% of our students are students who applied via QuestBridge, and they're all QuestBridge, part of our QuestBridge chapter. They have dinners together, they have group meetings together, they socialize together, they have a space in our in our resource center that they can kind of get together and know that they have other people on campus who are coming from a similar situation as them, and they immediately have something in common with. So it's a nice way to transition into a brand new school as well. There are some drawbacks to the match for sure. And the first one is that it's binding. So you just really need to be sure that you're not just putting schools down because you're feeling like, oh, I want to get into school my senior year, like I've been working for this for so long. You need to make sure it would be a good fit for you. We want you to be happy if you match with a school, not feel let down if you match with the school. The other drawbacks is the application is due really early compared to other applications. You probably will need to spend some time in August working on this. And as soon as you get back to school, you are going to need to be talking to your counselors and to your teachers to be getting in letters of recommendation because it is happening so early in the school year. So you're going to need to be very on top of it. The last one I'm going to say is there are many reasons why a student might go through the match and not match with a school, even if they really like your application. Some schools will only match with a certain number of students. Other schools may require a certain threshold of family income, and if your family is a little bit over that, they may not match with you. What I would say is if you do apply through the match and you don't match to certain schools that you really wanted to, you should reapply in regular decision. It's not necessarily just because those schools don't want you on their campus. Many times that's not the case. So you need to be a little resilient if you go through the match. If you don't, so following the match, if you don't match with any of your ranked schools, you can still use that application. It's not a waste of time that you did it. You can still be applying with your QuestBridge application. And the QuestBridge website is a really great place they have laid out at every single partner school what steps that partner school will want you to take to apply in regular decision. For example, at Amherst, if you apply in the match and you don't match at Amherst, we automatically roll you over into regular decision. We automatically consider your application as part of our regular decision pool. And the final thing I'll say is, even if you're named a finalist by QuestBridge, QuestBridge says, congratulations, you're one of these 6,000 students. you don't have to participate in the match. It is up to you whether that match process is going to be the right fit for you or not. Plenty of finalists decide they do want to participate in the match. They want that 4-year scholarship. They want to apply to multiple schools early, but plenty of students don't do that. They're either not ready for that binding process. They want more time to think about which schools they really want to be attending, and they go through a regular decision process. And it's the same if you're a non-finalist. You can still use your application in early or regular decision at the 50 schools. So I just wanted to quickly talk about how the QuestBridge application is different from the Common App, just because I think there's a lot more familiarity that students have with the Common App over the QuestBridge app. The QuestBridge app is set up differently than the Common App is. There are still 2 longer essays. One is 800 words and one is 500 words, so take longer with a grain of salt there. But there's also a lot of short answer questions. So I have here just a single page from the QuestBridge application, and you can see some of those short answer questions. Tell us about one of your proudest achievements or moments. What's your favorite subject to study and why? These short answer questions allow us to get a sense of what are your passions, what are your interests, and they also let us learn more about you. And so in some ways, QuestBridge really lets you share your story in a way that the Common App doesn't have room or space for. Additionally, I like the QuestBridge app because it makes it really explicit and obvious to students what schools care about. And so one of those things is we care about students talking about what their responsibilities are outside of school. Not just what clubs are you part of, what sports do you play, what instrument do you play, but also what work do you do, paid work do you do, and how many hours a week do you do it? Why do you take on those kind of commitments? What kind of hours are you spending at home? If you are babysitting a niece or nephew 3 days after school, we want to know that. That is important for us to know. And the QuestBridge application makes you fill this out. Now, if you don't have a paid work, that's okay. You leave that blank, that doesn't hurt you, but it's making it explicit to students, like schools care about knowing this kind of thing, and they see that as valuable. I will put a note here that even if you choose to apply through the Common App, this is still important for schools to know. Please tell schools what you are doing at home for your family responsibilities, what kind of paid work that you have. Even though the Common App doesn't necessarily ask for that explicitly. I do have just a few notes from QuestBridge here as you think about, like, is QuestBridge the right fit for me? Should I be applying through QuestBridge? And there were a few notes that QuestBridge gives to students about being a successful QuestBridge applicant. A lot of that has to do with writing strong essays. So the first piece of advice that they give is to choose a topic that only you can write about. So they lay that out here as saying, like, think of a broad topic that comes to mind when you think about influential parts of your life. My family, for example. Specify a circumstance about that topic, about your family. Okay, I live in a single parent household. And then hone in on your unique point. Their example, I gained greater independence since my dad works long hours, so I learned to cook for my family with a limited budget. I'm going to write a great essay now about how I've learned not only my love of cooking, how it's connected me to these family recipes that I didn't know existed before, but also how it's made me see practical implications for the math that I'm learning in school. So some questions for students to consider. Have they overcome any particular challenge? Are there specific factors that have shaped them or made them into who they are? Really great essays we read every year is not about like personal lives, but what piques your intellectual curiosity? What makes you feel like, ooh, I want to study that more. I want to read more on my own. I want to do this even if no one's making me. And what interests are you really passionate about? The second big piece of advice that QuestBridge gives its students is to demonstrate emotional maturity. A lot of the QuestBridge application is asking students to talk and Common App are asking students to talk about themselves and their personal lives. And sometimes that is hard to do. QuestBridge is really telling students to avoid overly negative or critical language, especially if things have been difficult, to be mindful of content choice. If you are trying to write about a topic that is just not a positive topic, and you cannot put a spin on it that shows your strength or your resilience or your grit, maybe it's not the right essay to write for your college application. Move in a positive direction, even if it is a hard topic to be talking about, to end on a note of resilience in it and to show personal growth. And the last kind of tip from QuestBridge is to focus on your passions, not just your future career. This is something that we see as admission officers all the time. Students will write, like on the left side here, attending Amherst College will prepare me to get into the medical school of my choice, become a doctor, and support my parents financially. That is an excellent goal. We are very supportive of that goal. But there's a stronger way to write that essay that shows intellectual curiosity, that shows that you're going to be passionate on campus, that shows how you're going to add to the campus culture for the 4 years that you are at that campus. So I have the stronger approach on the right there. I'll be sure to share this with our counselors here so that they can share out to people who may be on tonight, so that you can take a look at that either as a student or with your students if that's helpful to you. But at this time, I'm going to pass it back to our presenters.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Catherine. Really appreciate you giving us that deep dive on QuestBridge and your expertise from your perspective. So thank you for that. Hello, everybody. I'm Summer Cevallos. I'm a college and career counselor in Osceola County, and we're just really excited to be sharing this great information with you. I do want to just take about 5 minutes before we wrap up tonight and check on any questions that might be out there in the chat. To just kind of talk a little bit about the junior program that QuestBridge offers. So what Catherine just walked us through is the meat and potatoes of QuestBridge, if you will, which is where the seniors can match with the college, which results in that full ride scholarship. But they also have a junior program to help prepare students for the admissions process through QuestBridge or just through those more competitive college applications. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys briefly so I can show you what that looks like. Give me 2 seconds. Go. Wait for a second. All right, so if we go to the QuestBridge website, you're going to see both options, okay? The one that walks you through the whole application for their seniors, their National College Match program, but a little less talked about is their College Prep Scholars program. This is one that will come up second semester for our juniors, so the timing right now to hear this information is really ideal for our junior families. If you currently have a student in their 11th grade, this is a great program to explore. So you scroll down, they're going to give you the whole breakdown of who should apply. It's very similar to the QuestBridge Match program as far as they're looking for those high achieving underrepresented students who are looking to go into that more competitive admissions process. Some of the awards that this includes has to do with summer programs, some excellence awards. They do offer summer conferences that they invite students to, campus visits, specialized guidance, and just a lot of prep to help students put together a strong college application. So they will even help support you and provide resources that will then result in their QuestBridge Match program. So I just want to take just like that, just to highlight this. Their website is very user-friendly, really breaking down the process for you. And then I know that in our schools, we have college and career counselors and school counselors who are there to also help kind of tie that application together. But this is a great way to kind of prepare yourself for the QuestBridge application process, and those more competitive college applications, because we know that it's a world of its own and can be very intimidating. And we don't want that to ever be a reason why students don't see through the process, right? So they tell you who should apply, like I said, some of that academic criteria that they're looking for. And remember, anytime you're looking at this kind of information, they're giving you a general guideline. It doesn't mean that if you're missing one of these that you would not be considered. It's the same when we look at our colleges. It's a very general guideline just to kind of help you figure out if that's a good fit or not. But always worth having a conversation with a college and career counselor or specialist to see if that's a good option for you. They look at income just like their match program does. And you can see the breakdown of that whole thing, and then additional personal circumstances that they consider, like Catherine shared, as far as how they're even looking for that in the essays and activity sections and such, and then how to apply. So let's see if they have here for us when it opens. I know it's second semester that their application will be opening, and it's usually a very fast process. I don't see a date on there just yet, but we're going to be monitoring that, and I know that we'll be sharing it out through social media and all that good stuff to make sure that everybody has the information. This is, oh, here we go. So it's closed right now, but they will be opening it, and then notifications will be sent out in late April. So it's a great program for students to get a little more support. I know, especially in some of our larger comprehensive high schools, having another layer of support could help navigate those college applications a little better. So strongly recommend that you consider that if you are looking into those options for your students. So also great for you to know, let's see. There we go. Also great for you to know if you're current 9th or 10th grader or younger, because I know we get all different ages and grades connected to these great meetings, just to kind of see what kind of programs are out there. QuestBridge is a huge national one. We have other programs that are just for the state of Florida, even more specific to counties. So there are a lot of resources out there, and a lot of times it's just about having that knowledge to kind of support you through that. So with what time we have left, we do want to see if anybody has any questions that we can help answer here live, or we can follow up with individually. And with that, I think I'm going to invite Ms. Green.
Yes,
perfect.
Thank you. This was amazing. I wonder if we have students in the audience. Would you put in the chat what schools you're with? Can you put what schools you attend? And I want to say that this is just an amazing opportunity. Whether you get it or not, it's really a benefit to you to apply, because the experience of applying for a very challenging, rigorous scholarship program helps to prepare you to apply for other challenging things. Anybody want to put in the chat what school you attend? Or what school your child attends? I think we have a very quiet audience tonight. Well, I want to, since we have nothing, any questions, you can put your questions in the chat and we will definitely answer them. Okay, since we have no questions tonight, everybody's thinking about the holidays or exams. Our students, high school students, are thinking about exams for the rest of the week. We want to thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for all the support you've given us. We want everyone to know that the College Career Readiness team absolutely love our kids, our Broward kids. We love them day and night. We think about how we can help them to be successful, how we can help you to be successful, because we know that's what's in your heart. And we think that the QuestBridge program is one of those opportunities. We will be back next year with more of these meetings. We will likely start out with information about FAFSA, which you know is coming up. Parents, if you have seniors getting ready for college, it's really important that you stay abreast of this, and your students would be great for you to create your FSA ID. Parents to do that also. FAFSA normally opens in October, but it did not this year because they're creating a new and a better application. It opens in January, And after that, we are all running to the finish line to get your students, your child, ready for their next transition. So remember, our heart is with you, and we're looking to do great things for you and your children. I want to thank our speakers tonight, and on behalf of the College Career Readiness team, we want to wish you Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, and if you don't celebrate any of those, happy holidays. Enjoy your winter break. Good night.